2020, please be advised that members of the Bell Garden Successor Agency may participate in today's meeting telephonically. Agency members and staff are participating from remote locations. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website as noted on the agenda. If any agency member should have a conflict of interest, virtually, please leave the room by turning off video and muting yourself. You may still keep listening to the meeting. Tonight's invocation will be given by Councilmember Alejandra Cortez, and the pledge will be given by Councilmember Lisette Flores.
Lord, we are meeting today to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being our source of guidance today. Amen.
Thank you, Councilmember Cortez. And now we're going to go to Councilmember Flores for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Put your right hand over your heart. Begin. I pledge allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Agency Secretary, will you please call the roll of the successor agency?
Yes, Chair. Agency Member Chavez?
Present.
Cortez?
Present.
Flores?
Present.
Vice Chair Pulido?
Present.
Chair Barcena?
Present.
Thank
Thank you. We will now move to the first item on the agenda. Public participation is now open. Agency Secretary, are there any public speakers? There are no speakers and no comments. Thank you. If there's no objection by the agency members, I will close public participation and we will now move to the consent calendar. Does any member of the agency wish to pull an item for separate discussion? Since I see no motions to pull an item, I will call for a motion to approve the items on the consent calendar. May I have a motion?
Moved Cortez.
May I have a second? So motion by Cortez, second by Flores, and I'll do a roll call. Agency Member Chavez?
Yes.
Cortez?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Vice Chair Pulido?
Yes.
And yes for myself, so the consent calendar is approved unanimously. We will now move to the public participation for non-agenda items. Public participation is now open. Agency Secretary, are there any speakers?
There's no speakers or no comments that have been emailed to us.
Thank you. I will now close public participation. Does any agency member wish to make a comment? If there's no objection by the successor agency, I will adjourn the successor agency meeting at 6:09 p.m. And now calling to order the Monday, September 13, 2021, 6 p.m. regular meeting of the Bell Garden City Council. The meeting will now come to order. Pursuant to Executive Order N2920, please be advised that members of the Bell Garden City Council will participate in today's meeting telephonically. Council members and staff are participating from remote locations. Members of the public may view and listen to the meeting live online through the city's website, as noted on the agenda. If any council members should have a conflict of interest, virtually, please leave the room by turning off video and muting yourself. You may still keep listening to the meeting. City Clerk, will you please call the roll of the City Council?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Chavez?
Present.
Cortez?
Present.
Flores?
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Pulido?
Present.
Mayor Barcena?
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. City Attorney, Legal Counsel, will you please give the closed session reports of the City Council and Successor Agency?
Thank you, Mayor, Chair. The record should reflect that the City Council Successor Agency reassessed in the closed session to discuss the items on the City Council agenda and the Successor Agency agenda. Mayor Pro Tem, Vice Chair arrived at approximately 5:10 p.m. The Mayor Pro Tem, Vice Chair heard and participated in the discussion of all items under both the City Council and Successor Agency agenda. The following is my report for the City Council closed session discussion items. With respect to the first item, the City Council received a report from Legal Counsel. Direction was given, but no final action was taken. With respect to the second item, the City Council received a report from city's designated representatives. Feedback was provided, but no final action was taken. With respect to the third item, the City Council briefly discussed the annual performance evaluation of the city manager. Feedback was provided, but no final action was taken. Moving on to the successor agency portion of closed session, the successor agency received a report from the agency's negotiator. Feedback was provided, but no final action was taken. Thank you.
Thank you, City Attorney. And now we're moving on to our presentations. We do have a proclamation in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month. And this is the proclamation here. I want to show it to all of the people viewing the meeting. And I'm going to go ahead and read it. This is a proclamation in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, which we can all relate to here on the council because I believe we are all Hispanic. So each year, the United States observes National Hispanic Heritage Month by celebrating the culture, heritage, and countless contributions of those whose ancestors were indigenous to North America, as well as those who came from Spain, Mexico, the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. What began in 1968 as a Hispanic Heritage Week under President Johnson and was expanded by President Reagan in 1988 to cover a 30-day period starting on September 15 and ending on October 15. The people of Hispanic descent are the hires of missionaries, captains, soldiers, and farmers who were motivated by a young spirit of adventure and a desire to settle freely in a free land. This heritage is ours, and Hispanic and Latino Americans have served our country in the past and continue to serve in significant and enduring ways today. And although too numerous to recognize individually by name, Latinos serve as civil rights leaders and community organizers, politicians, soldiers, educators, journalists, first responders, pioneers in art and science, healthcare professionals, athletes, inventors, entertainers, and so much more. Several of our states and many of our cities bear Hispanic names and continue Hispanic traditions that enrich our national life. And Hispanics continue the rich history of significant and diverse contributions to the cultural, educational, economic, and political vitality of Bell Gardens, California, Los Angeles County, and the entire United States of America. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Marco Bárcena, Mayor of the City of Bell Gardens, with the City Council, do hereby proclaim September 15th to October 15th of 2021 as Hispanic Heritage Month and encourage all residents of Bell Gardens to celebrate and honor the rich diversity of the Latino community and celebrate the many ways they contribute to our nation and society. Proclaim this 13th day of September 2021. And I will go ahead and sign this. And that is the proclamation. Thank you.
Mayor Barson, if I could just make a quick statement.
Of course,
based on
please
your
go ahead.
proclamation. I'm a proud daughter of immigrants. Both of my parents are from the state of Jalisco in Mexico. And I'm very, very, happy to be able to share this dais with other Mexican Americans. I know that Jorge's parents are Mexican, Maria's are Mexican, and Alejandra's are Mexican. I think Marco was actually born in Mexico. So it just speaks to the volume of the fire and the passion that we come from. And so, to all of the Hispanics, please know that we're here proudly representing, and we will continue to. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councilmember Cortez. And yes, I was born in Mexico, and I I do know that some of the council here has even lived several years in Mexico, apart from myself. So we definitely do represent Hispanics here in the city of Bell Gardens. Anyone else have any comments? All right, now we're gonna go ahead and move to our public hearing. This will be to approve zoning code amendment number 2021-7 and introduce ordinance number 917 to provide regulations of home occupation permits in residential and mixed-use zones.
Yeah, Mayor, at this point, it would be appropriate to open the public hearing and receive a report from staff.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and open the public hearing. Do we have any comments or anyone from the public?
Mayor, we haven't received any comments or phone calls. There are two attendees on. If we want to go ahead and maybe announce if those attendees would like to make a comment at this time for the public hearing.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and show our staff report first. That way, our attendees can be exposed to the information we have to share to them, and then we'll go back. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Mayor, members of the City Council. This zoning code amendment 2021-07 came before the Planning Commission last month with a recommendation for approval. Is everybody able to hear me okay? Yes, okay. The zoning code amendment pertains to home occupation permits within the city of Bell Gardens, and it's identified as ordinance number 917. So currently, the city of Bell Gardens Municipal Code does not allow home occupations. You do hear about this in other cities where somebody can have a business license working from home if they have their home office, or nowadays, internet sales is very popular. Currently, the Bell Gardens Municipal Code does not allow that. Again, home occupations are generally conducted within a residential dwelling unit that's considered an accessory use to the primary living purpose. And they do not alter the residential character of the unit or the neighborhood. There's been a lot of inquiries, especially during this COVID pandemic, about having a home occupation. In the past, former planning commissions and city councils have identified this process, but have decided at that time not to pursue it. They felt that there would be impacts on the residents because of possible noise, odors associated with all types of commercial businesses. But again, here we're limiting them to office and internet sales type uses that are characteristic of residential uses only. So with that said, this provides more income generation opportunities for Bell Gardens residents. Home occupations will allow residents to establish a home business without having to pay for a commercial lease space. The draft ordinance has been prepared with standards to avoid the negative impacts of commercial uses on residential. And again, they're limited to office type uses, internet sales type that don't disrupt the residential character. They have to be done within a particular room of the house. They can't be done, for instance, in the garage. The other thing that we've noted is the Bell Gardens Municipal Code does address cottage food operations. If you recall, a couple of years ago, the state law allowed for people to cook in their kitchen and be able to then take and sell that food elsewhere. So it would establish a residential cottage food industry, but that does not, in other words, that does not affect this ordinance. That will continue to happen. For regulations and permit requirements, the health department is still involved. So to go over the standards of this type of business, home occupation again is limited to office, internet sales type of businesses. Businesses may only be conducted inside the home. You can't have anything set up outside with patio covers, etc. A specific room must be identified for the business use. The garage can't be used for business purposes. It has to be continued for its intended parking purposes. There can't be any outdoor improvements to support the home occupation. And you cannot have any employees other than those who reside in that unit. You can't also have people coming to your place of business. In other words, you cannot have a dentist who's going to need clients to come for the service. Only home office again. And the other thing to note is we have to make sure that the activities don't cause significant impacts to the neighborhood, such as parking, hazardous materials, deliveries out of the ordinary. We all nowadays get packages, in the mail from UPS, Amazon, etc. But this can't be out of the ordinary. So if we see that now you have commercial trucks delivering to this house on a regular basis, that's outside the residential character, and we can call the permit. And again, customers and clients are not allowed to visit or pick up from the home. And that's again to ensure traffic and parking is not going to be an issue. And to keep in mind, myself as a director can revoke the home occupation permit if the business or business owner is not abiding by the standards. So today we're recommending that you open the public hearing, which you've already done, and take that public testimony. And once the public testimony is done and your deliberation is over, we are asking for you to approve Zoning Code Amendment 2021-007, which amends the Bell Gardens Municipal Code Title 9. Chapters specifically are 9.04, which is the definition section, 9.10, which is residential zones and permitted land use matrix, and chapter 9.12, which is the commercial zones, because we're allowing it within the residential/commercial mixed use zone, and also 9.20, which is applicable to the special uses and applicable standards. So we're putting a home occupation permit section within that. And thirdly, we recommend that you introduce ordinance 917, waive first reading. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Romo. So at this point, I'd like to refer to my colleagues to see if they have any questions for staff. Okay. Seeing none, I will go ahead and ask the city clerk to announce the first caller for the public comment.
So at this time, we don't have any emails that were submitted or comments or calls that were made. We do have 2 attendees that are online right now that if we want to go ahead and extend that and open that out to them to see if they're interested in making any comments for the public hearing item.
I'd like to refer that question to our legal.
Yes, to Mayor, members of the City Council, the 2 individuals, I'm not sure what your names are, but if you do want to provide public comment on this item, now is the opportunity to do so. Is there anybody on the Zoom that would like an opportunity to be heard on this public hearing item? Final chance. Mayor?
Going once, going twice. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and unless there are any messages that came through the chat or anything like that? No, okay, so
No.
we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing. And now I'm gonna ask to see if there are any motions to approve this item.
I'll go ahead and move to approve this item.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead and
who was that?
Me, what's that?
That was Councilmember Lisette Flores that made a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
And Mayor, before we take a vote, I just want to make clear that the motion is to approve all of the recommendations by staff. So that would include all of the staff's recommendations under item 2 and 3. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
So that is a motion by Councilmember Flores with a second by Councilmember Chavez. And I'm gonna go ahead and take it to a roll call. Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Thank you. Cortez?
Yes.
Thank you, Flores?
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Pulido?
Yes.
Thank you, and that is also a yes for myself. So the motion carries and the item is approved. All right, thank you. Thank you for that. We're gonna move on to our next item on the agenda. We will now move to the first item on the agenda. Public participation is now open for items listed on the agenda. City Clerk, are there any speakers?
There are no speakers or emails that were submitted.
Thank you, Madam City Clerk. If there's no objection by the City Council, I will close public participation, and I will ask our city manager if he can please give us his city manager report.
Mayor Barsinick, can you hear me okay? Okay. Okay, thank you. I just had a technical issue here. I just want to remind everybody or announce we have an LA County Vote Center at Veterans Park for the gubernatorial recall election. So 10 a.m. through 7 p.m. Also, this Wednesday, September 15th at Bell Gardens Veteran Park from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll have the city's 60th birthday and Fiestas Patrias. It's going to have entertainment, family activities, food, more. There'll be representatives from the Mexican consulate there to conduct El Grito. Also, the birthday celebration include a giant piñata and other giveaways. So it should be a good time. Should be nice weather. We've got COVID-19 testing that's for free that's going to begin on Monday. So our Recreation Community Service Department has been working hard to get testing available back in the city of Bell Gardens. It'll be Monday through Friday at Veterans Park from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. So this was a big deal, for a while there, everybody was having testing, then it went to vaccinations, and then now we're back to testing. So a lot of work and effort on the part of staff there. Also, vaccine clinics continue with the Pico Pharmacy. So also at Veterans Park on Tuesdays between 12 and 4 p.m. So a lot of stuff going on at Veterans Park if you hang out over there. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, City Manager, for your report, and we will now move to the consent calendar. Does any member of the City Council wish to pull any item for separate discussion? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to approve items number 2 to 7 on the consent calendar?
I'll go ahead and motion to approve that.
Second, Cortez.
That is a motion by Flores and a second by Cortez. I'll take it to a roll call. Chavez?
Yes.
Thank you, Cortez.
Yes.
Thank you, Flores.
Yes.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Pulido.
Yes.
And yes for myself, so motion carries and the consent calendar is approved. We are now going to look at items 8 through 10. These are our discussion items. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 8?
Thanks again, Mayor Barsina. This item is a follow-up item from about 3 meetings back where there's a request for some information on performance evaluations statistics. So we talked a little bit about that time as far as regular full-time employees receiving evaluations, some part-time employees dependent really at department discretion. And so I think at that time we reported that we were working with our HR group and with our department heads to look a little bit more further into what goes on with full-timers, because there's a tendency oftentimes when people receive their top step that the performance evaluations can fall off. They generally do not when they're not at the top step of their salary, because they won't get an increase without a satisfactory evaluation. Also among part-timers, there's a differentiation between, let's say, a part-timer that's here just for a season for to work let's say at a swimming pool or something that may just be several months, versus part-timers that are here for a longer period of time. And so we're working to develop some, more, I think, more robust performance evaluations from the perspective of making sure that people are getting them because of their value. We didn't at that time have statistics specifically related to the number of performance evaluations that have been conducted. So kind of at the bottom of this report there, you'll see that there have been 35 performance evaluations since January, with another 15 or 20 anticipated. That's for full-time employees, with 9 part-time employees being completed. So I think we would anticipate another 5 or 6 of those being done by the end of this year. Our Director of Administrative Services is here, and I'm available for questions on this one. It's a receive and file item. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Do we have a presentation for this item coming up?
Mayor Barson, I think we were circling back just to give you the statistics, basically.
Okay.
It's a pretty quick and simple. Again, I think if we look at the staff report, it talks about general employees, the executive managers, department heads, the city manager, part-time employees. So
okay.
I think the gist, what I want to communicate, I think, to the council here is we recognize some weaknesses that tend to exist in some of these evaluation processes. So we're working to bolster that.
All right,
And we can report back at a later date as well, too.
thank you. Are there any questions from my colleagues? All right. Give me a second here. Okay, so can I ask for a motion to receive and file this item? I'll go ahead and motion that. Can I have a second?
I'll go ahead and second.
Second by Councilmember Flores. And we'll take it to a roll call. Chavez,
Yes.
Cortez,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Pulido,
Yes.
and yes for myself. So thank you again for the presentation and the update on the stats, Mike, and also the HR department. City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 9?
Thank you again, Mayor Barcena. So this item is my audio coming in? Okay. This item is a follow-up to the water rate increase that the council approved back in July. Part of the direction of that water rate increase was to bring back a program to provide assistance for residents that were potentially not able to afford the increase in those water rates. There was $100,000 allocated, and so a program has been put together. It was modeled off of the utility assistance program that we have run through the CDBG program in the past. So I'll turn it over to our Director of Recreation Community Services to talk about the program in a little more detail.
Thank you. Before they start, can I make sure that everyone has their microphones muted? I'm getting a lot of echo on the presenter's voice. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and City Council. The report you have before you is the Liberty Water Assistance Program. And as the city manager mentioned, at the July 26th meeting, the City Council approved by motion to appropriate $100,000 to assist residents residing in the Liberty Water service area, the ability to apply to offset any rate increase for a period of 3 years. So single meter users can apply for assistance to make up the difference. In this slide, we continue to utilize the utility assistance guidelines, income guidelines. So who can qualify? Anybody who is a single meter Liberty Water customer with verified identity and meet the income guidelines. And you can see they're pretty liberal as far as the income is concerned. Required is an application, a valid ID, a copy of a recent Liberty utility bill, and proof of income for households. Applications will be available on October 1st at the Community Family Service Center. And here we have a bill, a typical bill of what we'll be seeing as far as the income and what the resident would be eligible for to receive to offset their bill. The payment will be made directly to Liberty Water, and it'll appear on their statement prorated on a bi-monthly basis. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to respond to them. I am seeking approval to receive and file the report.
Thank you, Director. Do I have any comments or questions from the council?
I do have a comment, Mayor.
Please go ahead.
I just want to commend the mayor for bringing this proposal forward, and B, for Parks and Recs making this happen in such a organized fashion. I feel very comfortable that these payments are going to be made directly to the water company. I feel very happy that there is this element of help and aid for our community. I know we had a lot of members here when we were discussing this issue. And the main problem was that for those that couldn't pay their bill. So I think the mayor proposed an excellent way to navigate and circumvent around that while at the same time maintaining the integrity of our budget and the decisions that had to be made, the very, very hard decisions that had to be made. So I just want to commend A, the proposer, and B, the ones that are accomplishing this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilmember Cortez. I appreciate that. Any other questions or comments?
Mayor Barcena, if I may.
Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the presentation from staff. I do also want to echo the sentiments of Councilmember Cortez in regarding to Mayor Barcena, bringing this back to us and really pushing forward for this, this fund to be able to allocate some of those funds to help those in need that are going to be affected by this increase. Really appreciate it. And then also staff's quick and swift action in bringing this back to us. And it's just a matter of the folks coming and applying for those that need assistance. So again, big thank you to staff and also big thank you to the mayor for bringing this back.
Thanks again, Councilmember Chavez. Any other comments before we move on? Okay, I just want to make a brief comment. If anyone is just joining us or is a little bit lost about this item, it is $100,000 that's going to be going to help those that are going to be affected by the water rate increases. So $100,000 is going to go directly into helping those people. So I'm also very happy that I have the support of the council, and I want to thank the entire council for being supportive of these types of efforts. And I can tell you that staff is on top of it, and they're looking at it from every perspective so that they can make this benefit an easy process, so that it's not confusing, so that as many people as possible are aware that there is this opportunity to receive help wherever it's needed. So thank you to staff for being so diligent in creating this assistance that is easy to use, that is going to be promoted efficiently. So thanks again. And I will go ahead and ask for a motion to receive and file.
Cortez moves.
I'll go ahead and second that. Your screen just went blank.
We're having technical difficulties. The mayor will be on shortly.
Okay, I got disconnected there for a second, but I wanted to just say thank you. I don't know if was it able to get my public comments or? Yeah, okay, great. So then I'm gonna go ahead and ask for a motion. There was a motion by Councilmember Cortez to approve this item with a second by Chavez. And I'll go ahead and take it to a roll call. Councilmember Chavez,
Yes.
Cortez,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Pulido,
Yes.
and yes for myself, so motion carries. And now, City Manager, will you please announce discussion item number 10?
Thanks again, Mayor Barcena. So this item is to report and get approval from the council for the Community Family Service Center operation. So the center was formed out of the need for a centralized location for services during the COVID-19 pandemic. So I really see this as a positive outcome from a tragic pandemic. We're able to bring necessary services and continue to provide those services even once COVID is over and ending. One of the features of the center is to allow local nonprofits that have expertise in areas that the city doesn't have expertise in, and to offer those services to residents through allowing them to share space at the service center. With that, I'll turn it over to our director to give you a little more detail and go through presentation. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor Barcena and City Council. With me this evening is Diana Ortiz, Community Services Supervisor, who is directly overseeing the Community Family Service Center. So at this time, I'd like to give her the opportunity to present the report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Roseanne. Good evening, Mayor and members of City Council. This report before you is to provide you an overview of the activities currently happening at the Community Family Service Center. The Community Family Service Center was formed as a need for a variety of social, human, educational, and community services during the COVID-19 pandemic. Staff immediately recognized the need to really centralize our services, and we have provided, or for the past year and a half, we have provided several services such as rental assistance, education, emergency food services, utility assistance, COVID testing, COVID vaccination, senior meals, and a variety of other consumer action services. The Community Family Service Center is temporarily located at Bell Gardens Veterans Park, where a large classroom was transformed into a workspace. These workspaces will provide client meeting space for staff and nonprofit organizations that have partnered with the Family Service Center. The Community Family Service Center intends on expanding and relocating into the former Senior Center at Bell Gardens Veterans Park. This transition will allow the facility to become a one-stop center where residents will be able to access our center to receive a wide array of social, human, educational, and community services all in one site. The intent of the shared workspace and facilities is to allow nonprofit organizations or nonprofit providers the opportunity to meet one-on-one with clients and offer other direct services at the Family Service Center on a scheduled basis. There will be a community calendar for residents that will provide the hours of service of when the organizations will be located on site, as well as a calendar that will include any workshops, trainings, or social gatherings that will take place. Partner organizations will only have confirmed cubicle spaces that will need to be scheduled, and the availability of space will be based off of recreational programming services and other community needs. Here are a couple pictures of our temporary office space. As you can see, we have some of our current staff at the Community Family Service Center offering services. During the height of COVID, many service providers were only conducting services remotely via virtual format or telephone. Staff has been coordinating with several agencies to have them offer direct services at the Community Family Service Center. With us now, we have 3 service providers that have partnered with the Community Family Service Center to briefly share the services that they can provide to our Bell Gardens residents. I'd first like to invite Michelle Matthews from Job Corps to please unmute and speak briefly about the services that they will be providing.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, Michelle.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Hello, Diana. Thank you for introducing me. So my name is Michelle Matthews. I am the marketing specialist for Job Corps Los Angeles. I'm not sure if you are familiar with Job Corps, but Job Corps was created in 1964 through the Department of Labor. And what we offer is a $40,000 free educational grant. And we're not talking financial aid where they're paying any of this money back. This is free dollars for those that qualify. So I met Diana. I reached out to her because Bell Gardens definitely has the population that Job Corps seeks. And so this program, what we do is we train kids ages 16 to 24 in high demand careers. So I reached out to Diana, and that's how we met. So I'll tell you a little bit about what we provide for these kids. We do not provide jobs, we provide careers. That's the difference about Job Corps. What we do is we provide careers in advanced manufacturing, healthcare, transportation, IT, renewable resources and energy, construction, automotive, and machine repair. So we teach these skills to those that qualify, which is low income, migrant youth, victims of sex trafficking, homeless youth, and kids with disabilities, ages 16 to 24. So our program runs approximately 6, 7 months to 2 years program. But when they finish the program, let me back up a little bit, I'm sorry. While they're in the program, we will provide for them every single thing that they need. They need not come in with any money in their pocket because we will take care of all their needs. There is a Job Corps Center, and we are a national organization, again, funded through the Department of Labor. So the Department of Labor is paying for all of this training to help these kids have the same opportunities that others do to have a career, but yet not pay for it. We provide free medical, basic medical, dental, and mental needs. We provide transportation. We provide books and equipment for their trade. So whatever trade they choose, we're going to provide all of the needs for that trade. We will provide each child with a Chromebook and internet access for their home. We provide food. We also provide shelter because each Job Corps has housing. So our Job Corps can hold up to 612 students. Right now, we're only doing 1 to a dorm, but normally it is 2 to a dorm. And then we also will pay for, like I said, their child care. So if they have kids and they're going to school, Job Corps is going to take care of that child. They get a child care allotment. So when they're going through the program, we're providing everything they need. There's a host of employees there that fully embrace these kids to make sure that they have everything that they need, that they're even helping them to have the job skills that they need. And when they finish the program, we not only train them, but we provide the jobs for these skills that we have taught them. And we partner with companies like FedEx, Kaiser Permanente, CVS Pharmacy, NBC, MTA, UPS, Goodyear, Jiffy Lube. These are just some of the organizations that have contractual agreements with the Department of Labor and Job Corps to make sure that they hire our students. So that's why up to date, we have over 2 million kids that have successfully gone through our program. And every year, 44,000 kids are recipients, 44,888 kids are recipients of our program every year. And we are a national program. So in every state, there's a Job Corps. So if they start out in Job Corps Los Angeles and they want to extend their program to the advanced program and it happens to be in Hawaii, the Department of Labor is going to fly them to Hawaii. The Job Corps representative is going to meet them at the airport, and they are going to go to their new living arrangements and take on their second advanced trade. So when they leave our program, we also take care of them. We give them $1,000 that they finish the program to put towards housing or a car to really get their education started. We help them with transportation when they graduate, clothing for the interview. We take care of all of their needs, mental and physical. Lastly, but most importantly, we teach ESL as a second language. We help them there. We help with tutoring. We help them with every single thing that they need in their education so that they will walk out of Job Corps successful. It is a no-nonsense program, but it is a very successful program. So there are stipulations to the program, and I won't really be able to get into it this evening, but I will put my information in a chat box, and then you can email me, and I'd be happy to connect with you because I do work in downtown Los Angeles. I work a lot with the different city hall council members. I work with the board of supervisors. I work with the police department, the LAPD, with their youth programs because they're out there telling the kids in their community, like Diana is now, about our program so that we can give them a better opportunity and a better chance for a future. So it's a really amazing program, and there really isn't any program out there like Job Corps. So that's kind of the shortness, but I'm very excited about bringing Job Corps to the city of Bell Gardens with Miss Diana Ortiz. I love her. She's great. And we're very excited about partnering with your city. And the partnership is really just us coming out there. And if the city of Bell Gardens provided 100,000 kids that needed this career, the Department of Labor would pay $40,000 per child to give them that successful career. There is no limit to the amount of kids that can be part of this program. They just have to meet the qualifications.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Next, I'd like to invite Victor Marroquin with Latino Equality Alliance.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Diana. Hello, everyone. Buenas tardes. Happy Monday. My name is Victor Hugo. My pronouns are he, him, they, them. Anything respectful is cool too. Mis pronombres son él u ella. Primero les quiero dar las gracias a Councilwoman Lisa Flores, who's actually been super awesome in creating this partnership between our organization and Diana. Of course, thank you to you as well, who have been so consistent with communication. So Latino Equality Alliance, we are an extension of the Los Angeles LGBT Resource Centers, but we were specifically created in 2009 to address the safety, equity, and wellness of the Latina LGBTQ population. So we mainly work with queer and trans communities of color. Here in Latino Equality Alliance, we provide various resources. Like, for example, we have a Pride Pantry every Friday that produces like fresh produce, groceries for families in need, and financial assistance, especially right now with COVID, that our communities have been impacted here at our location in Boyle Heights. We also do HIV prevention services. Right now, it's currently under appointment. We also do youth programs, scholarships. We do city cleanups. I know that think we actually even have one coming up with Bell Gardens in November. So if there's like a way that we can actually get involved and hopefully even see some of y'all out there at community cleanups. But the most immediate one that we're going to be having next is going to be in Pico de Rivera. Particularly the reason why we want to work with the city of Bell Gardens is because us as Latino Equality Alliance, we're currently working with this grant called Elevate Youth, and it's to address the way that particularly queer and trans youth of color, but this also applies to all youth of color in the Montebello Unified School District and also in the East Los Angeles College, have been disproportionately impacted by substance use. So whether that be alcohol, methamphetamine, opioids, or other drugs, serious drugs that can lead to addiction and homelessness for the people in our community. Given as well how COVID-19 has pushed our communities into isolation and with increased oppression, we're looking at ways that we can have more restorative justice approaches to addressing the ways our youth are engaging in substances. Like the majority of the approaches to when a youth or a young person has drugs is to criminalize them. And so it does kind of repeat this vicious cycle of incarceration. And we're seeing a lot of youth being fuzzled in from like a school to prison pipeline. So the work that we do here at Latino Equality Alliance, we already are talking about mental health and looking at ways that youth can find ways for them to openly and healthily talk about like the substances. And we particularly focus on LGBTQ youth just because, especially as they're coming around this time, we work with population the ages from 14 to 26, and they start questioning their identity, their gender, their sexuality. They might experience family rejection, more violence, homophobia, or bullying in school, and that's what pushes them to engage in substances as opposed to like communities who don't fall into the LGBTQ population. It's so super awesome for myself. I get to work as the program coordinator, and it's really cool that I get to work with youth that I myself am the product. I know that when I came out to my family and I experienced that family rejection and didn't have any of that financial assistance and just kind of had to be rejected, I turned to a lot of hard substances and drugs. And one of the reasons that happens is because our youth don't have that support. We don't have those safety nets for them to be able to have that community and to be able to talk about. And already giving the prone violences, especially for trans and gender nonconforming people. I do want to take the time to acknowledge the fact that, this is a little bit more morbid, y'all, and I do appreciate you for creating such an awesome space. But as of 2021, 35 trans and gender nonconforming people have been murdered due to trans-related violence. So I think it's super important for us to be in our communities of Bell Gardens. In Southeast LA, I think that oftentimes in like Latina communities and communities of color, we're told that we're more homophobic, when I personally don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that our communities have been disenfranchised and we don't necessarily have the spaces for that. So with the Veterans Park, I hope that we can be able to have the space and like with Bell Gardens, have that city partnership for us to be able to create the space for everybody in our community, especially like our LGBTQ youth, who we really want them to have the agency of their communities and really advocate for that as well. Because in the city of Los Angeles, right now, like since we're located in Boa Heights, we don't really see a lot of these resources for our communities in Southeast LA. Like Bell Gardens, Bell, Huntington Park. So we want to be able to especially begin with our youth and have them take ownership of that problem, take ownership of like the issues that we want to address in the community. And I know that in October, hopefully we can have an event. And I know Councilwoman Lisa Flores, we're going to be having and talking about that. I know that I would like to invite everyone here. So Mayor Barcena and everyone here on the council, just keep your eyes open because in October, there's going to be LGBTQ History Month. And so we want to be able to create a space and an event like that for us to be able to come together and talk about that. And we're just going to be providing public speaking training for our youth, how to advocate in policies. We ultimately want them to be in conversation as well with their school districts and how they can create more of those safer spaces and also address the ways that a lot of youth have been being suspended from school simply just for drug possession. And for us to just be able to have like those open and honest conversations, I think when we have those kind of spaces, we can create like that trust and that confidence and that safe space for us to like really talk about these different stuff as well. Like for example, with like sexual health, oftentimes around the time we work with that 14 to 26 population, sexual health does look different for queer and trans youth. And so oftentimes in K through 12 schooling, they're not able to receive that education. I know I didn't. And so that is what it leads to like more like cases of HIV. So it's going to allow us to, of course, do that work of HIV prevention that we've historically been doing, but also still do substance use prevention just because those two are correlated. As we've seen in like research and studies, like the people who tend to be HIV positive have also had a history of a substance addiction or substance use. So we want to be able to work with our youth of how we can address that. Eventually, in 2 to 3 years, with the campaign that we're working with, Elevate Youth, we actually have been granted money from the state of California to create 2 murals. And so hopefully we can identify those murals actually in the city of Bell Gardens. And if y'all can be a part of that conversation and that work, and most importantly, just have our youth kind of create that space for themselves and see themselves in the art and the artivismo that we have. So that's what I have to say. I'm the program coordinator at Latino Equality Alliance, and I really do hope to be seeing a lot of y'all. This is my first time at a city council meeting, so this is pretty cool. I just want to say thank you again to Diana and Councilwoman Flores.
Thank you, Victor. Lastly, I'd like to invite Evelyn Casimiro with Spirit Family Center.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super impressed by everything happening here, and I'm very excited for everything that's to come. So just a huge thank you for having me. I am from Spirit Family Services, also Spirit Family Centers, and I wanted to just share a little bit about what we do and where we're all about. We're actually down the street from you all. We're off of Garfield in the city of Bell Gardens. So I invite you all to come visit us at some point. We are open to the public, social distancing enforced, of course. But we are off of Garfield and Florence, in between Florence Avenue and Florence Place. So if you haven't visited us, I really welcome you all to come by and just see what we're about. We are a nonprofit family service organization. And so what we do is we do everything we can in all of our services, an array of programs that we have to prevent child abuse and neglect. And we definitely do that through our efforts in empowering families, improving well-being, and strengthening communities. And so I'm here representing Spirit Family Services. I am the program manager for the Prevention and Aftercare program. And I wanted to also speak about some of the other programs that we have available in the city of Bell Gardens. And I'll make it short and quick for you all. Prevention and Aftercare provides an array of case management services. We are one of the only places that I like to call it like kind of a mini 211. We are more regional in terms of the services and resources that we can connect families to. If we do not have the resource available in our site, we definitely connect to a place that does and can provide that resource. And so we have case navigators available throughout the entire week to be able to provide information for anyone living in our neighborhoods and our communities looking for resources. Anything from counseling services, food, rental assistance, and even just getting information. I'm so excited to share with our case navigators the information about upcoming water services that you guys are going to be giving in the city of Bell Gardens. So that's definitely something that we are always trying to stay on top of in our regions and the communities we serve. In addition to case navigation and case management services, we provide structured family activities. We're always trying to create opportunities for families to just connect with each other. to get to know your neighbor, to just know that your comadre may know a better parenting strategy than maybe you do, and definitely helping support all of our communities and just learning from each other, as well as learning from viable and reliable resources. And so in addition to our prevention and aftercare program in the city of Bell Gardens, we also have our relative support services program that works specifically with caregivers. So a majority of our funding does come from the Department of Children and Family Services. And so a lot of our cases do come primarily from them. And our caregiver program, our relative support services program, is really meant to support families who have children recently placed with them with a relative. Oftentimes it's grandparents, aunties, tias, uncles, all of those people who are that safety net for children, so that if there is a removal happening, they're at least with family. And so we definitely provide case navigation and case management services to those families and resources to make sure they know they're not alone, and there's several resources available to them. In addition to our relative support services, we also have our Healthy Families America program. And that one is specifically for pregnant women who qualify under CalWORKS. And so they receive home visitation and case management program and services, so that they are visited in their home to really provide that early onset education for healthy living, healthy children, and again, learning about all the resources available to them within their communities. So I wanted to make it short because I know it's already 7 o'clock and our evenings are very valuable to all of us, but I'm just very excited and very grateful to Diana for inviting me and to get the opportunity to speak to you about all the wonderful things that we do at Spirit Family Services in the city of Bell Gardens, and all the amazing things I know we're going to be doing in the near future with our partnership. So thank you. And again, I really mean it. I'm Evelyn. I'm at the Bell Gardens office 5 days a week. Please come by and say hi and visit our facility so you know what we're all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Evelyn. Once again, thank you to our amazing partners for being here, and for the amazing partnership and the services you'll be providing at our one-stop center. I'm happy to answer any questions that council may have, and it is staff's recommendation that you receive and file the report.
Mayor,
Thank you, Diana. Before I open it up for comments, I just want to take this before they get off the meeting. I want to make sure that I thank Michelle Matthews from Job Corps and also Victor Hugo from Latino Equality Alliance, as well as Evelyn Casimiro from Spirit Family Centers. I know that this was a very last minute request, so I'm surprised that we were able to get all three of you here. I wanted to bring this to council so that the council can learn a little bit more about what's going on at the center that we have open, and just the quality of programs that we're bringing, and the support that we have behind the vision of the council and also our staff, because as you all know, without Roseanne and Diana, this will be a very hard thing to get rolling. But I'm very happy that you guys were able to make it. Thank you so much for all the information that you gave us today. And I'm very excited about the job that you will be doing at the center. And that's all I got to say. But please, if my colleagues have some comments, I'll start with Councilmember Cortez, who wanted to say something.
Thank you, Mayor. For starters, I think congratulations are in order for Diana. Congratulations on your new position. You're such a great asset to our community. I am so happy that you're in charge of the center and everything that we're going to be developing there. I do hope to see some immigration resources in the near future, but I do know that we're just starting. But these three amazing organizations that I learned about today, Latino Equality Alliance, I had worked with them before through MUSD. And I know they're a great asset for our community. They've come to and been participants over several of our workshops, what some of the initiatives that we've had through the school district. So I'm glad that now we're going to incorporate them in the city as well, so that our Bell Garden students receive double the resources. But I was also very happy and very pleased to learn about Spirit Family and about Job Corps. It's valuable information, and now it's just about promoting and making sure that the word gets out there. But I'm just excited, and I just want to thank all of you for being on here tonight. And Victor, you said it was your first meeting, but you did an amazing job. I would not have been able to tell that this was your first meeting. Thank you so much for all the information all of you provided. And with that, thank you and have a great evening.
Any other comments from the rest of the colleagues?
I'd just like to echo what my council colleagues have already said. I'm extremely proud of the work that is happening here in our community. We are providing promising avenues for the future of our youth. And it's something that I feel we haven't done before. And I'm really, really excited for what's to come for our future. I feel like as with Latino Equality Alliance, we're going to be providing services for all of Southeast LA. So there is going to be a grand opening party or event, maybe not a party, but a grand opening with social distancing obviously applied for all of the Southeast LA cities that are going to come. And I know that an invitation is going to go out to our Mayor Barcena to come out and say a few words and invite the rest of the communities that are going to be visiting us here. And it's really important because, what we're doing is promising, we're giving them an opportunity that was no longer, has never been here before. And like I said in my past statements, I have my own stories that I've already shared with here. And this is life changing because what I went through then, some people are still going through now. And because of this program, they're no longer going to have to go through that. So thank you, Diana. Thank you, Roseanne, and to all of our Parks and Rec staff that are working arduously to make this happen. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Evelyn, for being here. I can't believe we've never met. I am a mother, so I know that these services are really, really important. And to Mrs. Matthews, who's on the line, thank you for providing not you said job, but a career for our community. So thank you to everybody. I'm extremely ecstatic and very grateful to everyone.
Thank you, Councilmember Flores. Any other comments?
Mayor Barcena?
Go ahead, please.
Thank you so much. I just want to briefly thank Michelle, Victor, and Evelyn for coming in such short notice and presenting this to us. I learned about the Spirit Family Services. I always pass next to it, and I'm glad to hear a little bit more about it and what services are being offered. Same thing for Latino Equality Alliance. Amazing organization doing amazing work, and really appreciate y'all setting shop here in the Sela region now. It's going to make a huge impact for our nearby cities, along with our own community of Bell Gardens. Finally, in terms of Jobs Corps, really appreciate seeing this being established here in our community. I've shared in the past with my colleagues that I actually used to work with Hub Cities Consortium. I did an internship there, and a lot of the focus right there was about job development, getting services to clients, and connecting businesses with employers with employees. So I'm really glad that we're seeing Jobs Corps here in the city, and I look forward to all the collaboration that we're going to have for our residents and our nearby cities as well. Thank you so much again. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. We're excited about being a part of Bell Gardens. Very excited. I've spoken to the director, and they're like, "Yes, we want to be very much part of Bell Gardens." So we're going to bring some exciting things and going to change some kids' lives and put them on a path to a very successful career.
Thank you so much, Ms. Matthews. We really appreciate that. Anyone else? Comments? Okay. Well, thank you again, and I will go ahead and make a motion to receive and file. May I have a second? Second by Councilmember Flores, and I'll take it to a roll call. Councilmember Chavez?
Yes.
Cortez?
Yes.
Flores?
A very aesthetic yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Pulido?
Yes.
And yes for myself, so motion carries. And looking forward to seeing you guys. Thank you again, Victor Hugo. You did great on your first day. We'll hope to see you back again, all right?
And we'll see you soon.
Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Okay, and now we're moving on to public participation on non-agenda items. Public participation is now open. City Clerk, are there any speakers?
There are no speakers or email comments.
Thank you. If there's no objection by the City Council, I will close public participation and move on to City Council member comments. Councilmember Chavez.
Thank you so much for that, Mayor Barcena. So to begin my council member comments, I do want to mention Gateway City's COG. We had a meeting. I mentioned last week I got appointed to this board, and I was going to mention in regards to some sort of briefings that we had. So I met twice already within the last 2 to 3 weeks. It goes by so quick. So on August 30th, I, as a Bell Gardens representative, I sit on the 710 ad hoc committee meeting. We got a presentation from the Coalition of Environmental Health and Justice, so community organizations like CBE and EYCEJ, and other environmental organizations presented to us partnerships and potential communication channels that we need to have in regards to the 710 ad hoc committee. So I'm glad I got to hear that. Later that week, September 6th, had a meeting, just a general overarching meeting for all the Gateway COG. Had about 3 to 4 presentations. We had a homelessness presentation from the Dr. Sonishin from the Pat Brown Cal State LA Institute, and try to break down the issue of homelessness, all up and down from the county to the city to our city of LA, county of LA, city of LA, and all of our local municipalities. We also had a presentation from the city of Paramount and their climate action plan. Cities essentially implementing climate action plans, different steps that they've taken to go green. And it was very interesting seeing that. So I'm glad to got to hear about that. And potentially maybe we should look into doing something like that, a climate action plan for our community, if that's not already being developed. And then finally, we had a presentation from the Complete Streets program. So just status updates in regard to streets that go through a lot of our communities. So major streets, including like Slauson, Florence, Firestone, Imperial, all of them, the major ones, so like boulevards essentially. Glad to hear that. I do want to go ahead and extend a big thank you to our public works. I've seen them out there working with our bus shelters. So they've been replacing countless bus shelters all around. I believe all of them have been replaced or fixed to some extent, but I'm really glad to see them. Really appreciate all the work. And while I'm extending that thank you, I also want to thank them for the huge, amazing work that they did on Foster Bridge and Suva. They've upgraded that intersection. They've implemented a crosswalk, new signage. I mean, you name it. They've done an amazing job in that intersection. It's something that the council really pushed forward. And we've been in communication with residents that live in that intersection, and just really glad to have seen that upgrade, to upgrades being made in that intersection. So big thank you to Public Works. I also want to thank Parks and Recreation for the ice cream social that we had in September 2nd. I got to attend. We had an ice cream social for the seniors. It's been a while since we had any senior events due to the pandemic. I believe the last one we had was in May, and it was a Mother's Day sort of arts event that we had. So it was great seeing and hearing out the seniors, and we got to have some ice cream, and at the same time we got to play bingo. It was my first time playing bingo. I've usually played loteria, but it was good, and I'm glad to have spent some time with the seniors at the senior center. In addition, with Parks and Recreation, we have vaccine clinics. I believe now, instead of doing them on Wednesdays, we're doing them on Tuesdays. So from 12 to 4, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, please do so, get vaccinated. So Tuesdays from 12 to 4, and incredible just to have that here in our own city of Bell Gardens. I do want to go ahead and thank PD for the commemoration that they did for 9/11. I believe here they woke up and they were here during the first, they did this whole commemoration outside City Hall. We had a banner at City Hall, and we all went ahead and we extended our condolences to all those that lost their life due to this tragic terrorist attack for 9/11. So again, big, huge thank you for our small municipality police department that was able to do commemoration. In regards to coming events, I know we touched on it, but 60th anniversary celebration, Fiestas Patrias. So looking forward to that. That's this Wednesday. So it's coming up. It goes by so quick, the month. I can't believe we're already halfway through September. But looking forward to that this Wednesday from 6 to 9 at our Veterans Park. Don't forget, tomorrow is recall election coming up. So hopefully if you haven't voted, please do so. It's very important. So go out there and vote. Our voting election polling place is here in Veterans Park. So make your voice be heard. Same time, we do have a drop-off box right here at the Bell Gardens Library. So if you want to just fill out the envelope from the comfort of your home, your ballot from the comfort of your home, you could do so and then just drop it off there. I also want to show off my shirt that I'm wearing. It's a pretty cool shirt. So I went ahead and I bought it. I just noticed everybody looked at me in the council chambers. I'm not used to that because usually we just look at the screen, but my shirt is pretty awesome. It's BGI Falcons. I went ahead and I purchased it. It's only $10, so just like to represent my alma mater. So BGI, go Falcons, awesome. Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I do want to mention this amazing resource that's coming to our community. It's something that a local church has been working on and a couple other community residents. It's a community fridge. So this is something that's been popping up all over SoCal. So it's essentially a refrigerator and people can go ahead and drop off food and pick up food and just being responsible and taking care of a community fridge. So this would be located at Touchpoint Church down Ira and Florence. So it's just an amazing resource being brought. What was that? Oh, it's an amazing resource being brought to our community. Touchpoint Church is doing an amazing job pushing this forward, and they're going to actually have a grand opening on September 26th at 1 p.m. So I want to extend the invitation to all my colleagues, and hopefully we can all be in attendance for that. It's a Sunday at 1 p.m. So looking forward to that. I've been working on that with a couple other community residents for a while, and I'm glad to see this flourish. In regards to, I believe that's pretty much it. Really appreciate the council meeting, appreciate the time, appreciate all the presenters. And with that said, I'll go ahead and conclude my council member comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Chavez. Councilmember Cortez.
Thank you, Mayor. With regards to my comments, I do want to give direction. Not sure who this would go to, but maybe we could create some partnerships. I did read online, and I'm going to credit this to one of our commissioners, Christina Paulo or Belgardens Uncensored, with regards to a self-defense class, whether it's a class or a workshop or something of the sort that we can bring to our community. There has been some unfortunate incidents that our PD has responded to recently. And I think it's important to address it and also to offer some sort of resource. And I'd be very interested in learning some self-defense myself, but I think the community can truly benefit from it. I know our Bell Gardens Police Department in the past has had some type of partnership to offer like boxing classes. Maybe that's something that they would want to partner up with, like with our Parks and Recs to make it happen, but I'm not going to, I'll leave it to the discretion of our city manager to figure out those logistics into our different departments and maybe see if that's something that our PD wants to tackle. And if not, then we can look for an outside resource. Thank you, Roseanne, for the testing. It's a very important and vital resource to our community right now, considering that our children are going back to school. I know the school district is implementing their own resource as well. It might be a little bit more tedious for our families and it only pertains to our students, but I think it's important that our parents are getting tested as well whenever they are fearful, whenever they need to, because there's colds, flus, all things going around, and it could be very scary at times. So I do want to express my gratitude for that and just remind everyone, as our city manager said, we now have testing at our Veterans Park, correct? Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And lastly, remember to vote tomorrow. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night.
Thank you, Councilmember Cortez. Councilmember Flores.
Yes, I have a few items that I'd like to touch base on. Before I go into anything, I just want to extend my gratitude to Gus and Grisel. Thank you so much for the work that you guys are doing. I see your teams actively working in the city. I drive by them, I see them. They're always out there just making sure that our city is improving. And it's like, I've never seen this before, this much hard work. And I know that it comes from the people above them who are giving that direction and pushing them to be their absolute best so that our city could look that way. So thank you to both Gus and Grisel. Your work has really been outstanding in the last couple of weeks. Right now, I'd like to give direction to, I know I mentioned this before, Mike, if you can just help me out here about putting a mural over at Marlowe Park that would be, directed or created by the city so that our own residents could be the ones that paint this mural over at Marlowe Park. Right now, it's in terrible conditions. I know we just took over the facility in the back, but I think as we're going to be moving forward, this is a good time to make sure that that's happening. I also give direction to place a mural over by the bike path, but I know that we don't have the jurisdiction. However, I know that they've been cleaning it up, but the gates still remained very crusty on the other side. It's coming apart. So we can please make sure that we add a fresh coat of paint on the bike path and continue so that there can continue to be activity there and that it looks appealing, because I know that we took a long time to clean that up. And so, to just see it deter, it'll be very unfortunate. So let's make sure that we're out there, we're actively painting what needs to be painted. And if we can still look into the mural, Mike, please, because I mentioned this before, but I know that there was some hesitancy amongst other colleagues, but hopefully we can all get together and create a program in which we all can, contribute into the murals for the city. And then if we can add a pool construction update for the next council meeting as well. And again, I'd also like to thank, just like Mr. Chavez did, our PD for the 9/11 banner that and the ceremony that you guys did. I know that I gave Mike a very sudden direction to do that, and it was very intimate and beautiful. So thank you, PD, for taking care of that. And ultimately, lastly, I have some sad news to share, which seems like we just can't get enough of that. We recently lost a very important man to the city of Bell Gardens by the name of Gilberto Sandoval. He was the soccer coach for Club Imperio and Club Nido Águilas, who's located here in the city of Bell Gardens. This man shaped the lives of many, many kids here in Bell Gardens. He was a father to many who did not have one, and he invested his own money and time to the children of Bell Gardens. And sadly, we lost him to COVID a few days ago. There is a GoFundMe set up. If we can please, if you have it, find it in your heart and are able to, I would encourage you to please support the family in that way. And for those that knew him, you know how much he cared about soccer. So let's continue to push for our students to continue to be disciplined and play the sport and keep them alive in that way. There is a service set up for him. It's on Facebook. If you know him, he said it's open to everybody. That was a part of his club. So please, if we can just be careful out there and take care of each other and be kind to each other. We're all going through something very difficult in one way or another. We're still not okay, and we're trying really hard to be better, but we're not there yet. So let's be careful, take care of each other, and that's what I have for tonight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Council Member. Mayor Pro Tem Pulido?
No comments from me. Thank you.
Okay. And as for myself, I want to go ahead and second the request by Councilmember Cortez to have a self-defense class. I feel like that's, if we can figure something out, that would be very, very helpful. So thank you, Councilmember Cortez, for bringing that up. I want to thank staff. I know that Councilmember Flores thanked our Public Works Director, Grisel, and I want to extend that thank you because I have seen such an improvement, and I'll just give an example, right? So I've been wanting to improve a certain street over here in it's Suva and what's the name of the other street? Suva and
Foster Bridge.
Foster Bridge. It's been a long time project of mine, and I've been wanting to improve it. Initially, there wasn't enough money for that, but with the help of Grisel, we figured out something that could be done in-house, right? So I just feel like that is just something that means a lot to me because it shows so much initiative and determination from staff to make things happen for the improvement of the lives of our residents. And I just want to thank you really for those efforts. I think they're really showing. I love those little videos. I don't know if you do those videos or if it's Hylis jumping in or if it's a team effort, but whatever it is, you guys are doing great. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you to my colleagues for a great meeting today. And I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting. In the name of the person Gilberto Sandoval that passed away, and he was a great member of our soccer community. So a moment of silence. Thank you. And if there's no objection by the City Council, I will now adjourn the City Council meeting at 7:24 p.m.